Jesus Christ has risen, and he is the open door.
How you doing, everyone? Welcome to this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show, where we talk about life, we talk about liberty, and yes, we talk about the pursuit of happiness, and we show the world that as Cajuns do have intelligence. I hope you're having a good day, good week, wherever you're located. You just got to remember that this is the day that the Lord has made. We should rejoice and be glad in it. Ladies and gentlemen, got an impactful weekend coming up. So with that being said, for my 200th episode, this is 199, which I am grateful that I have gotten to this point of 199 episodes. And I'm going to thank you in advance for 200 episodes of the Cajun Conservative Show. But unfortunately, I won't be there for the next episode, my 200th episode. And look, don't get upset. And please listen to the next episode, because we're going to have a great guest come on, and that is going to be Scott Ford from the Scott Ford Show on Rumble. I talked to Scott, and we've been working out the details. We will have a show for you. If something happens, you will know in the next episode. But right now, Mr. Scott Ford from the Scott Ford Show on Rumble for the first time will be guest hosting the show. And this came at the last spur of the minute. As you know, I've been saying I have a busy week. We have a vacation Bible school at the church, along with working. I'm working on that, and they text me all the details. At the time of this recording, it is day 3, which is when this problem's out, will be day 4. But we've had a max capacity of 34 children that have come into VBS to learn about the Lord and to have an opportunity to make Jesus Christ their Savior. So that's going on. And this week, the reason I am not filming, or I'm not going to be part of the program, is I'm going to be ministering at our conference that happens this weekend. We got some great things lined up. We got some good food. We got some good speakers, and some some time of fellowship. And I'm going to be preaching, so I want to focus on that. I want to focus on what the Lord is leading me to speak on. I have a great topic lined up that I feel that the Lord is leading me on to talk to the people, and I don't want to be, worried about news and worried about that. So to give his 100%, Scott has said he's going to go ahead and jump on. Also, we have other great hosts. It was just short of a time, and Scott was the one that was available. So, I'm please listen to the next episode with our special guest host, Scott Ford from the Scott Ford Show on Rumble. And Scott's good. I like Scott's content. You should go check him out on Rumble. He is also in our ads at the moment. We're working on new sponsor videos and all that stuff. But I encourage everyone, go listen to Scott. Scott's a good guy. God loves the Lord. He wants to be used by the Lord, and he wants, great commentating on things that are going on. With that being said, go ahead and check out my friend Scotty Guidry at Cajun Carts in Lafayette, Louisiana. Great guy, great business out there. He is if you have any problems with your golf cart that you need fixed, or you need anything like that, you can go ahead and check him out at CajunCarts.com. And my video is lagging. There we go. Now we got it. All right. So, technical difficulties. But yeah, go check out Scotty Guidry, www.CajunCarts.com. You can get all the information. And if you go bring your cart or go even buy a cart, tell Scotty that I sent you out there. Go ahead and check out Cajun Carts. They gave me a great, good-looking hat, so I'm going to give them a shout-out. Also, go check out M&W Laser Creations in Breaux Bridge, Louisiana. You can go find their group page in the description at the bottom of this episode. If it's video or the audio side, it should be in there in the description. I like giving shout outs to Mr. Warren. Mr. Warren made this great sign right here. He also made us some cups I don't have at the moment, but some great cups. Go check them out and let them know Isaac sent you there. So, all right, guys. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you think everything is over, when you like, man, what could possibly happen now? We had we had Hunter Biden, and I've been talking about Hunter Biden for the last 2 episodes, and it's like when you think it's over, something else comes up in this Hunter Biden fiasco. This family syndicate, this mafia-run family, and that's what it's starting to look like. It's starting to look like that the Biden administration or the Biden family is run like the mafia, with the big guy. You remember the text messages and everything to Burisma and China and all that stuff. The big guy is taking care of all the issues, and Hunter Biden is kind of like, I wouldn't say the godfather, but he's the person that goes and brings in the money for the mafia family. And you know, my dad, I'll just give a shout out to my dad. My dad said, man, it looked like this is a mafia run organization, and that's what it's starting to look like. Because if you look at all the family incidents with the Bidens, it's like that. Joe Biden took care of his sons, he took care of his brother and his niece, and you remember the report a while back where it was they had like $100 million that was spread to the Biden administration. That was according to some Democrats that were out there. And ladies and gentlemen, this week is still not looking good for the Biden administration, and it feeds into the conspiracy that we live in a tutorial justice system. Why do I say that? Well, a while back, there was a whistleblower that came forward, and the Republicans were planning to use this whistleblower as the main whistleblower, the one that would expose all the Biden's hidden agendas and the Biden's family schemes. And if you remember, this was a big thing, and then all of a sudden, the whistleblower disappeared. And they couldn't find this whistleblower. Breitbart a while back reported that Republicans couldn't find this whistleblower. Now, conspiracy theories and everything went out like, what happened to this whistleblower? Did he disappear on purpose to save his life? Did something happen to him? And well, this whistleblower has resurfaced from a video. He went ahead and released a video online saying, look, I am the whistleblower that the Republicans were going to use or whatever. And he kept on saying, he said, look, I gave tons of evidence back in 2019 before President Biden even decided to run on, because in his words, he thought that he didn't think, at the time, I think Biden was thinking about it, or he just announced something like that. And he said, I don't think people should know before they vote for him all the corruption that is going in the back of the Biden syndicate. And all of a sudden now, he resurfaces, and he talks to all these people. And this guy was Left. That don't look like left, but anyway, Gal Liff was his name, and he came out and he said, look, I got all this information. I brought it to the DOJ. I brought it to the FBI, and they just shrugged it off. They didn't tell him, hey, you know, bro, we're going to look into this. They didn't even do that. They just went ahead and just didn't get back with him. And it's kind of funny that when he comes forward and the Republicans are using this whistleblower in February, the administration arrests him and charges him. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to see where it was at. But they arrested him in February, and he left. He disappeared. Now, a lot of people say, well, Isaac, if he's innocent, why is he running? Well, because it's kind of funny how he becomes a whistleblower, and then all of a sudden the DOJ goes after him. And he is arrested now on the charges that he's with now or whatever. And people are like, oh, well, hold on, Isaac, what you trying to say, a conspiracy? No, I'm just trying to say it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny that when this guy says, hey, I'm a whistleblower and I got information, all of a sudden they're doing an investigation on this person. Well, the video resurfaces, and whoopie-doo, what you not know? Could you guess what happened? Well, according to Daily Wire, the DOJ announced charges against missing Hunter Biden's witness. Federal prosecutors unsealed an indictment this week against an American energy expert that has supposedly been the missing witness of the House Republican investigations into the Biden family's business dealings for months. Gail Leaf, who formerly charged Monday in the Southern District of New York with court related to willfully failing to register under the Federal Agent Registration Act, armed trafficking, Iranian sanction violations, and making false statements to federal agents. Liff was arrested over the charges back in February while in Cyprus, put his failed extradition after being released on bail. Then he goes ahead and talks about the video, about how it was released to the New York Post, and that he had provided FBI and DOJ in the March of 2019 with all the paperwork. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's just kind of funny, okay, that this person, this Gail Leaf, resurfaces, and all of a sudden there's an indictment. Ladies and gentlemen, it points back to what I said last episode. And while I was looking into this, I put out a TikTok video of my episode of last week where I talked about Hunter Biden. I honestly thinks he can get away with anything. And look, this proves it right here. Wait, hold on, Isaac. You're starting to spew conspiracy theories. No, it's just I'm observant of what's going on here. Isn't it kind of funny to you, the listener, who are some of the most intelligent people on the planet? Isn't it kind of funny that this person back in February gets charged with the stuff that he's been indicted with? He gets charged in and he resurfaces, and all of a sudden their investigation's over. Hey, we're going to indict him. Ladies and gentlemen, that sounds like intimidation. Man, you're coming forward and you're coming against the president and you're coming against the people that fed you, and well, you're gonna go to jail now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just kind of it's just something kind of fishy here. This person has evidence, allegedly has evidence, we're gonna say it like that, of the proof that Hunter Biden and the big guy, the president of the United States, were basically foreign agents as well. Because it's kind of funny that this comes up, because if you remember, Hunter Biden, now he said he worked with Hunter Biden. It was for 4 years he worked with his company. It was with Burisma. This is from an article from Breitbart, where it says, meanwhile, Republican lawmakers like Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley, who previously called the DOJ to assess whether or not Hunter Biden may have violated the regulations under the FARA. In May of 2017, Hunter Biden sent a message to his business associate, Tony Bobulinski, about setting up a shell corporation, company, apparently in order to avoid the registration as a foreign agent. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at all this right here. They're charging this man with 100 years of prison. If he's convicted, 100 years of prison. And Hunter Biden is sitting at the White House, possibly snorting cocaine and getting away with something again. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to look. Okay, one incident you can say, well, that's possibly, it could have happened, but it couldn't have. But come on, ladies and gentlemen, Hunter Biden has been getting away with so much stuff. They are charged, and this is not the first time, with the gun and the tax invasion. You have a rapper that is sitting in prison for lying on a document. You know how many people have went to jail for tax invasion? But Hunter Biden pleads a deal with the FBI, and he gets away scot-free. Now you have this man that comes up, this Mr. Leff, says, hey, I got information that proves what you, the Republicans, think, And then all of a sudden he gets charged, gets arrested. Now he's fleeing for his life, apparently. Nobody knows where he's at. He releases something to the New York Post, and all of a sudden now the indictment charges come forward. They come and they saying, if you come out to the public, we will arrest you and we will go ahead and put you on trial. And if you're convicted, you're going to be put in jail for 100 years. Basically, life in prison. Now, like I said, going back to May 2017, Chuck Grassley says, hey, y'all need to look into Hunter Biden because Hunter Biden was working for Burisma. He was working for some Chinese organization. He is looking, because remember, this is one thing that they're charging Mr. Liff with, is that he was looking for China's interests and not for American interests. That makes him a foreign agency, and he didn't go ahead and file with this organization. But Hunter Biden was working in the same building or working for the same organization, and he was looking for China's best interests. And they say there isn't a tutorial justice system. Ladies and gentlemen, this is, I'll say it. I said it before. I'll say it again. The Biden family is an embarrassment to America. And the reason they are an embarrassment to America is because they are using their political power to politicize the DOJ, the FBI, to hide their family's crimes. And possibly even, advance a war. Because it's kind of funny how the Bidens have scandalous ties in Ukraine, and Biden is sending money and weapons and all this stuff to Zelensky. Now Zelensky, because they're having a G7 summit, is trying to be part of NATO while in a war, and saying, hey, we need this, we need that, and Biden's promising him everything. Isn't that kind of a weird coincidence that we have a president of the United States helping fund the war against Russia, where there is, scandalous ties in Ukraine? Same thing with America. Same thing with China. It's kind of funny how Biden is protecting China on things. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bidens are an embarrassment to America. And look, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist. I'm not trying to make up stuff because I don't want to do it. But these articles right here, the show that they're going after a person for something that Hunter Biden has done himself. But you won't hear the FBI or the DOJ go after Biden because Hunter Biden is a big secret. We got to keep it for national security reasons. Now, Christopher Reyes was in front of Congress today, and Matt Gaetz, one of the patriots in Congress, asked him point blank, are you protecting the Bidens? After Reyes went ahead and read a text message, he asked the question, let me go ahead and see. Quoting Hunter Biden's business act to the IRS, which was released in June, Reyes responded that he was not going to comment on the matter. The FBI and the Department of Justice has been investigating Hunter Biden since 2020. And he's recently pleaded guilty to tax and gun charges. And Gaze asks him question. You seem deeply uncurious about it, almost suspectedly uncurious. Are you protecting the Biden? Gaze asks. Reyes, absolutely not. Reyes responded. Gaze continued on the difference in Reyes' answers. You won't answer the question about whether or not that's a shakedown, and everyone knows why you won't answer it, because to the millions of people who will see this, they know it is, and you're enabling to acknowledge that it is deeply revealing about you. So, ladies and gentlemen, the FBI isn't going to look into Hunter Biden because as I seen the video, I looked at some of the pictures and all. Reyes is just like, I gotta be here. I gotta answer questions. Because, ladies and gentlemen, me personally, I think he lied. He said, "I'm not, absolutely not. We're not protecting the Bidens." But it's kind of funny. Every time there's a case against Hunter Biden, it gets swept under the rug. But they're gonna go after the people that are whistleblowers that can explain what's happening. But they won't go after the ones who the whistleblowers say, "Hey, look, they did a crime. You need to go look at them." Like I said, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist. I'm not trying to make up things. It's just I'm a normal American citizen. And when I see stories like this and I put two and two together, it's just kind of funny. This guy comes out and says, "Hey, I got evidence against the Bidens." All of a sudden, the DOJ is looking into his everyday life, and they find something to put him away, so he don't talk about the Hunter Biden issues. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back in a few moments. How you doing, everyone? Isaac here. I'm the Cajun Conservative, and I want to thank Brother Lanny Hayes from Hayes' Dump Truck Service for their generous support of the Cajun Conservative and Brothers Just Searching. Hayes' Dump Truck Service serves the Lafayette and surrounding areas. If you have any job that you need done, like cleanup or hauling material to your job site or your home, we haul limestone, we haul sand, we haul topsoil, any type of material you need. If you're in the Lafayette and surrounding areas, please call Brother Lanny Hayes at 337-852-8043. Remember, Hayes' Dump Truck Service, where Jesus is Lord of the company.
Cleansed and made us whole. Not one hoof, not one soul.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the second segment of the Cajun Conservative Show. Just continue on what I was talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I don't know, and look, I remember before Biden got in there, everybody would say it was Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was the worst president in the nation. Jimmy Carter, did some good things, but the inflation was high, and people made the statement that Jimmy Carter was the worst president in U.S. history. By far now the second. Biden is a worse president than Jimmy Carter was. And ladies and gentlemen, I just, I'm going to go back to a TikTok video I did earlier today, where I showed a clip of my last video, and they had the nerve of somebody to comment and say, well, what crimes have Hunter Biden done? It's obvious. Like I said, maybe one or two you can debate it on, but come on, all these. And ladies and gentlemen, and look, it's not. Look, the left likes to tell us that we're conspiracy theorists. Don't mind them with the Russian collusion. I'm just saying, but they like to say, "Oh, y'all conspiracy theorists. Y'all make up things. Y'all making things. Y'all making anthill mountains out of molehills." They come out with all this stuff, but ladies and gentlemen, this isn't a conspiracy theory. This is bluntly obvious now. When you have the FBI director just tell Congress, I'm not going to comment on that, and no, we're not supposedly protecting the Bidens, but you have a whistleblower that has the evidence in front of him, in front of y'all. Or allegedly, we're going to say, allegedly has evidence that would incriminate the Biden family. All of a sudden, he gets charged and he gets indicted? Funny when he first comes out and says, "Hey, I got this information." Ladies and gentlemen, it's kind of, and look, also this, look, he reported to the DOJ in 2019. Why didn't they charge him then? Why didn't they look at him then? Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, they would have came out and said, "Hey, we're investigating something that a whistleblower gave us." They would ask, "Well, what came about this?" And they would have to say, "Well, the Biden family, they think the Biden family did some things." And again, you might, some of you on the left, who y'all think y'all smarter than God himself, might tell me, "Well, Isaac, I was in 2019. Wasn't that the Trump administration? Wasn't that Trump's people? Why didn't the Trump?" Okay, Christopher Reyes is showing that he's on the side of Biden. He could have told Trump anything and hid things. We already know Merrick Garland, not Merrick Garland. I can't think of the guy's name that was the attorney general at the end of Trump's administration. I can't. William Barr. William Barr looked like he wasn't really interested in investigating a lot of stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, William Barr, Christopher Wray, that's all part of the establishment. That Christopher Wray has been in the FBI for longer than dirt. And people, well, that was Trump's people. If Trump didn't know about it, Trump couldn't told him to investigate. Ladies and gentlemen, there is corruption all over Washington. And look, come on. I don't know what Biden's doing. I don't know what the Bidens have over the DOJ. But this is starting to be an embarrassment to our country. A big, fat embarrassment. Because we have a president that's going after his chief rival on the Republican side. You have whistleblowers coming out of the woodworks saying we know things about Hunter Biden, we know things about the Bidens, and this one is getting incriminated. He's getting indicted. He was arrested with charges. Just so happened after he came out and said I have this stuff. You have every other whistleblower that's saying, look, we know what's going on with Biden, and all of a sudden the Democrats don't think whistleblowers are that important. But in the Trump administration, when every Tom, Dick, and Harry came out and says, I got dirt on Trump, they went ahead and hide the whistleblowers. When one Republican was about to name the whistleblower, you had Adam Schiff, Shifty Adam, come out and say, no, stop, cut the mic. We cannot reveal the identity of the whistleblower. Whistleblowers were fine then. But then all of a sudden, whistleblowers were not that important no more. Before I continue, I do want to announce that we will have Kellie Alford. Alford is she's running for state rep here in Louisiana. I believe it is the 68th. Let me go make sure. No, 64th district here in Louisiana. That's around Denham Springs and all. She'll be with us on the third segment. Can't wait to have that conversation. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it aggravates me. It does aggravate me. Excuse me as I get a taste of water. I got this big jug. I have to work and have water in it. So you on YouTube and Rumble like, God, Lee, what a big jug. It's water, I promise. All right, no, but ladies and gentlemen, whistleblowers ain't important no more to the government all of a sudden. So, all right, so let's go ahead and keep on talking about the Biden administration. Well, not the Biden administration, Biden himself, because he had a rough week this week, ladies and gentlemen. And it started on Sunday. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why I say this man is not fit for office. If you remember in the Trump administration, they wanted to give Trump fitness tests and mental tests, and because, oh my goodness, Donald Trump is crazy. Donald Trump is a lunatic. Donald Trump is insane. He dyes his hair orange. The left came up with everything. But at least Donald Trump, going back to that as well, remember, Donald Trump has the nuclear codes. Donald Trump is mentally ill. Remember Nancy Pelosi, I got to have control of the nuclear codes. We can't let the president have that no more because he's insane. Remember all that talk? I wonder where all them Democrats are now. Because, ladies and gentlemen, Biden has shown his incapability of being president of the United States to a point where he is basically letting our enemies know that we're low on supplies for weapons. Not weapons, ammunition. Why do I say that? Well, this comes from the Daily Wire. Biden blasted for revealing sensitive U.S. military info during interview. So he was sitting down with CNN's, one of the CNN propaganda hosts over there, and they were asking questions. So Biden told CNN Farrell Zakaria that the reason that he is giving cluster mentors or some weapons to Ukraine is because the U.S. is running out of the 155 artillery shell. Biden, when the question was asked, what made you change your mind and decide to give them those weapons? He asked. That was the host. This is Biden's response. The Ukrainians are running out of ammunition. The ammunition that they used to call them, that they used to call them 155 millimeter weapons. This is a war related to militants, you military guys. I know my boys from Culper's Canteen Cup are probably yelling at me if they're listening. And they are running out. So Biden said, look, the Ukrainians are having issues. They're running out. I'm going to send weapons to help them out. They're running out of that ammunition, and we're low on it as low on it too. And so what I finally did, I took the recommendation of the Defense Department to not permanently, but to allow for this in this transit period where we have more 155 weapons, deal shells for the Ukrainians to provide them with something that has a very low due rate. It's about, I think it's 150, which is the least likely to be blowing. Can he just look at the camera and say, enemies, y'all want America? Come get it. Ladies and gentlemen, the capability of this man running this country has already been well documented and obvious that he can't. Just went ahead and told the world, hey, the Ukrainians are running out of these shells, these 155 shells, whatever they are. They're running low. We're running low. So we're going to send them our weapons. That is like if Julius Caesar went up against the Persian army and told them, "You're running low on swords. Y'all come get our swords, and then we'll fight at the end of the at the end of the day." Ladies and gentlemen, our enemies don't have to send spies anymore. They just got to watch CNN, and CNN will not go ahead and cut it out. They will show the whole thing to the world. What happened to national security, mind you? Ladies and gentlemen, he went on TV and told the world, just not the nation, the world, that we're running low on certain ammunition. Our enemy, like I said, our enemies don't have to go ahead and send a spy. China don't have to send us a spy. All they have to do is watch their television on CNN when they hear there's an exclusive interview with Joe Biden. All they have to do is watch. Because we don't know what else he's going to spew out. On that note, Hunter Biden, we talked about it earlier. He has some ties to China and Ukraine and all this stuff. Oh, if Hunter Biden wanted to give secret, sensitive information to a foreign entity, all he has to do is talk to his daddy for 5 minutes. He don't even have to be conniving about it. All he has to do is say, "Hey, daddy, what about this certain thing?" And of course, Joe Biden, that's good old boy Hunter. I'm proud of Hunter, as he says. And I went on national. And look, there's people out there. Not you, my faithful listeners. The Cajun Conservative family, who's one of the smartest of all time. You know, you're listening to this. You're informed. I believe you're informed. If you're not informed yet, you will be informed if you continue to listen. But my listeners, I know majority of a lot of y'all, it don't take a scientist to figure out that this man is incapable of being president. But like I said, there are some people that are out there that are on the left, the far left, way over the foul line, over the fence into the next field, that will go ahead and defend Joe Biden and say he's a good president. I'm gonna do the Joe whisper. Ladies and gentlemen, this man just went on TV and told if I was our allies, I would be embarrassed. I'm hoping that protects me. Again, the Bidens are an embarrassment to America. I'm sad to say that, but I have to. All right, let's move on. Again, like I said, Biden had a rough week. Biden is President Biden is apparently not always the kindly undergoing kindly as the mainstream media likes to point out. He isn't kindly as the media likes to point out. according to a new report which details his explosive temper and habit of swearing in substance. The media and the left has frequently attempted to portray Biden as empathetic with their constituents, describing him as a decent man. Yet, according to Axis, some of the Biden aides avoid meeting along with him as he is prone to yell such as, God, you know what, how the F, don't you know this, don't effing you know what, me, and get the F out of here. I'm not cussing and I'm not hitting the buttons. I'm just stopping the words. One administration overtold Axis, no one is safe. Yeah, going back to, it's funny how this is starting to come back and bite the media's rear end. Because if you remember, ladies and gentlemen, when Trump was in office, oh, this one's quitting. Oh, this is bad signs for the administration. Oh, I can't believe another person quit and he said Donald Trump, or she said Donald Trump was the meanest person in the world. Remember the media? The media flashed that every so often. Every time somebody quit in the Biden administration, in the Trump administration, it was breaking news that this person quit. Oh, what does this mean? How is Trump treating his people? But now it's happening with the Biden administration, where Biden is telling people to stop effing bull him. And people are saying they don't feel safe in the White House. Why don't we get the news articles about it? Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, the media portrayed Biden as your friendly Uncle Joe. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Uncle Joe that sniffs girls' hairs and says weird things in front of children and tells our secrets to the world openly. I hope he don't decide our nuclear codes is this, and this. But he was betrayed because, remember, mean old orange man Donald Trump is evil. He's racist. He's homophobic. And they just kept throwing it on Donald Trump while lifting up Biden as this great Uncle Joe, the man that loves everybody and the man that cares for you. And they lifted him up. Now it's coming to revelation. And look, you know what gets me about this article? This isn't the first time an article like this has been written. There was an article a few months ago, maybe about a year now, where it was basically the same thing. Staffers said Joe would snap at them. Joe would go ahead and do certain things if he didn't like it, and he would fuss and all that stuff. Look what he did to the media. Remember, that was the whole thing, too. Uncle Joe, great President Uncle Joe, will never fuss at the media. He's transparent. But every time Peter Dorsey or some reporter asks him a tough question, he snarks back at them and answers them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the media and the Democrats might think you've forgotten. But I don't think you have forgotten. I know I haven't forgotten. And like I said, I'm an ordinary American. But ladies and gentlemen, this right here, this whole shebang of Biden yelling at staffers, this isn't new. Not to me. It might be new to some people that read it. Now, they hide these stories and they spread them out for 6 months at a time, and people might forget about them. But this is Joe's character. If you look at Joe fighting with the man at the plant, talking about guns. If you look back in the 70s, when Joe when somebody asked him a question that did not give him favor, he would snap at them. And I remember even one guy, they were talking about college, the age-old lie where he finished higher in a class and everything like that. He told that guy, I'm pretty smart. I don't know. I think you're dumb. But see, ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Joe isn't a nice man. It's like the movies, and there's several movies like that. If they call him Uncle Joe, because they try to make him loving and caring and all that, he's that uncle that gives you a tall tale and leaves not seeing you for months at a time, and comes back and give you tall tales. That's the kind of Uncle Joe is. President Joe Biden. All right. One more story, then we're going to go ahead and continue the show with our interview and our guests. Miss Kellie. Miss Kellie, great person. I think she's gonna make a good representative. Stay tuned for that interview. So this came from Todd Stearns, but I'm hearing this from a lot of other places. Even media. This is from Liz Pick, and this is from the Todd Stearns website. Even liberal media enraged over Biden's disowning granddaughter. Joe Biden, as we said, was portrayed to us when he ran for president, that he was the loving, caring person as he was. But New York Times columnist caused something of a commotion over the weekend by criticizing Joe Biden as a rare event for a left-leaning press. In the piece titled "The Seven Grandkids Mr. President berated the president correctly for ignoring his seventh grandchild, Navy Jane Robert, born to Hunter Biden and Linda Roberts. She and her Republican sister Peggy, apparently a fan of the president, are shocked that Biden, a self-declared family man, would be so unkind to Hunter's out-of-wedlock daughter. Dole wrote, Joe Biden mentor has always been hope I'm saying that word right, been that the absolute most important thing is your family. It is the heart of his political narrative. She excluded him from scaring little Navy's life by refusing to acknowledge her. And this story has been, because like we said, the media has betrayed. Oh, look at Joe Biden. Joe Biden's a perfect family man, not like Trump. Trump had 20 wives and he had 20 kids, and he touches a woman boob, but not Hunter Biden, not Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a saint. Joe Biden is a great American. And this columnist wrote. Now, it's kind of funny how it all worked out. One day ago, in a 2020 tweet, well, this story was written this story was written one day ago, but it starts out with a tweet from President Joe Biden over a year ago, well, 2020, saying that he would always take a call from his grandchildren, is now resurfacing as the president and his family face backlash for not formally acknowledging Hunter Biden's daughter, born out of wedlock. The tweet captioned, I have a rule my entire life, no matter what's happening, no matter how important the meeting, I'll always answer a call from my grandchildren. Is accompanied by a video of the president speaking on the phone with what a presumed one of his grandchildren. Hey, by the way, do you get a picture of dogs? The president asks as he holds up the phone to his ear, mask hanging on to the other. I'll tell you what, did you see the message they sent? They said they missed you. I miss you too, Angel. And it talks about the video. See, the thing of it is, ladies and gentlemen, look, I don't know why. Let's just go on that point. I know I'm running a little long on this segment. I don't know why Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, because I got to ask the question, would Joe Biden take a phone call from Navy? The little girl. Now, The View has discredited this columnist who is a leftist. He shouldn't be talking about children. It's funny it lines up because earlier, like I said, I put some TikToks and I had somebody tell me that we shouldn't attack Hunter Biden because he's not an elected official. But it's kind of funny. He's using his father, who is an elected official, to get away with all kind of junk. And ladies and gentlemen, this is just pure evil. Okay, I can understand that they don't like the woman that Hunter Biden did the action with, but that's his daughter. That is Hunter Biden's daughter. Joe Biden should go ahead and say, look, I'm going to accept her just like all my other grandchildren. Now, but you see, I think the whole narrative of this, which has been proven that this is Hunter Biden's daughter. But in Hunter Biden's mind, and also his dad and all his other family, this isn't Hunter Biden's daughter. They're wrong. They're lying. They just want money. And ladies and gentlemen, I think this is despicable. But now this also goes against the narrative of the media because, as they said for years, Biden is a loving family man. oh, he's good and he's going to respect your family the same way as he respects his. Well, if he's respecting his granddaughter like that, I don't want him as my president. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big mistake by the Bidens. And look, like I said, it's not the girl's fault. It's not her fault that her dad and her mama hooked up and she was born. Now, I can also hear some of you leftists leaning nuts say, oh, they couldn't just have aborted it. You see, but that goes to prove that, hey, abortion is about conveniences and not medical issues. But ladies and gentlemen, this woman decided to have this baby, and I don't know what Hunter Biden told her. But for Hunter Biden to go into a courtroom a couple of weeks ago and say, I don't have no money for child support, and wanting to lower down his child support, that's an issue right there. And for his family doing that, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to wrap it up and get to our interview for today. You have the Bidens, and this is why I'm going to say, 9 out of 10, this episode is going to be called The Bidens Are an Embarrassment to America. Ladies and gentlemen, these people, the Biden family, is showing how they're conniving, scandalous, unloving. And look, I'm going to be honest with you, with all the bad policies and all, I think this is gonna hurt the Bidens more than anything. Because, ladies and gentlemen, people are family. People that vote for him have families, and they see this. There's people out there that found out they had grandchildren or children out of wedlock, and they accepted him with open arms. And the president is supposed to be an example to us to love everybody, even if they have flaws or failures. But I guess this hurts them. I don't know. But this is an embarrassment to our country. And ladies and gentlemen, all the stories I talked about in the stories in the first segment, it's terrible. And ladies and gentlemen, let's just hope in 2024 that we pick a suitable leader that won't have this many problems. Democrat or Republicans, please. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back in a few moments.
Cheers and good on you, boys and girls. My name is Scott Ford, and I have a show on Rumble. It's the Scott Ford Show, all one word. The Scott Ford Show, all one word, and it's on Rumble. I'd be very happy if you went ahead and subscribed, like Isaac. I'm a true American-loving patriot. Thank you, Isaac. God bless. Enjoy your life.
You're my peace of mind. When this old world seems to get me down.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the third and final segment of the Cajun Conservative Show today. I have the great honor of having Miss Kellie Alford. I hope I said that right, Miss Kellie. She's running for state rep of District 64. That's around the Baton Rouge area, if I'm not mistaken. Miss Kellie, welcome to the Cajun Conservative Show.
Thank you so much, Isaac, for having me. Kellie Alford.
Kellie Alford, okay. I said Alfred. I must have been thinking of VeggieTales. I apologize.
Hey, it's all good.
Unfortunately, I'm not that great with names. If it's not Miguez or it's not Boudreaux and Thibodeau, I struggle with it.
Yep, I understand. Mine's all Irish.
All Irish.
Yes, indeed.
We might be distant cousins. I got Scottish Irish in my blood, so.
Okay, very, very, very possible. That'd be awesome. Kellie Alford, running for District 64 State Representative. I'm happy to be here.
Miss Kellie, I've been looking at your website. You are a strong conservative. You have, I believe, you have some great things for the state of Louisiana. That's what we need in our districts and in our legislative powers. Just to start off, why you chose to run for state rep? What was your reasoning for jumping into this race?
Well, honestly, Isaac, I was very concerned with the way the state was going, the way our government was handling matters. I felt like our voice as the people was not being heard. As a small business owner, I understood especially during COVID, the struggles that businesses were having because of the lack of communication, because of the, in my opinion, overreach by our government. And unfortunately, we lost a lot of good businesses because of that. So that really was a huge marker in my life in the idea of running for an office. But at the time, I didn't really know where, the Lord wanted me to be. I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, and I look to him for all things. And so with that nudge, with that feeling of, being called to a governmental role, I began to put it to prayer, and really a lot of prayer. And one day I was talking to my husband. Of course, I'm friends with our current state representative, and just having conversation, it was put out there, maybe I need to run for that seat. And whenever that conversation was had, whenever that statement was made, it was like a lightning bolt hit me. Here's your answer. This is what I want you to do. And I knew that it was right because, I had already been involved in, bringing the community together. Me and several moms, several other conservatives, strong Christian conservatives, freedom-loving people came together and brought a town hall during the COVID time. So that our local councilmen, as well as our legislators, and even the Attorney General Jeff Landry came to it to speak to the people, to answer questions, because so many people were confused, so many people were frustrated. So, those kind of things, it was just right up my alley. So I really felt strongly that I could benefit the District 64 constituents by going to the state capitol and being involved in legislation.
So in your current seat, there is a Republican that holds that seat in the 64th district, correct?
Absolutely.
So after you made the decision, how did you build your platform? Like what are your main goals for the state of Louisiana? I know you talked about you being a small business owner. I'm part of a small business here at BGS Media, and also with my dad's company. We feel the strains of John Bell Edwards and our state legislation, their whole compromising their positions. And we, as we said it, my good friend Marty Melee and a few other politicians have said it. We're 50 at everything bad, and we're 50. Yeah, we're first at everything bad, and we're 50 at everything good. Right. So what you want to tackle? What did hey, you win the election, you get sworn in. What's the first thing you do to try to make our state better?
Well, that's a little tough question because there's so many things.
Yes, ma'am.
But honestly, as a small business owner, and like you said, completely honest, truthfully, what you felt it. You and your business partners, people who you felt it. For me, as a business owner, I feel like I can bring a pro-business attitude and atmosphere to our state. That is one thing. We have a very complicated tax system. We need tax reform. We need, a comprehensive tax reform to where businesses will want to come and establish themselves in Louisiana. If our infrastructure, that's another thing. I want people, especially in my district, who felt the effects of the 2016 flood, I want them to understand that there's still a lot of work to be done. And I plan to make sure that those things are done and hold those accountable that have been doing the work to date, because there's been a lot of delays. There have been a lot of things that have happened since the 2016 flood and since the efforts have been underway to try to correct the problem. I want to know that drainage is a priority for me. I want to make sure that people are not concerned whenever we have a heavy downpour rain and water starts creeping towards their home. Obviously, education is another thing. We need a strong, we're losing teachers. And to me, that is very sad. So something needs to be done to have better recruitment and retention to where our teachers feel like they're supported and that they can educate our children. And I feel like our government needs to kind of get out of that and stop putting a lot of regulations on it to where teachers can teach and do what they, have enjoyed doing for many. I mean, we're losing seasoned teachers, and that to me, it just breaks my heart because, I know my mother-in-law was a teacher for 30 plus years, and she loved her job. She was a science teacher. And if you talk to her students, she loved it because she taught from her heart, and she was able to do that. But, when government comes in and starts putting regulations, dealing with curriculum and messing with those kind of things, then, it takes the fun away. So there needs to be some support for our teachers to where we recruit and we can retain. Those are just a few of the things that are on the top of my list.
So, I'm assuming you being a conservative and being the faith-based community, what are your views on the governor's his latest legislation where he vetoed the bill that was stopped by Fred Mills and the mutilation? I call it the mutilation of children. The children can have these surgeries. Thank God we're about to go into a veto session. Hopefully, our friends like Blake Miguez and many other representatives and senators that are out there will have common sense to get this passed. But on that whole issue, because if it don't get passed now, it's probably going to get passed with Jeff Landry if he's elected, or even Stephen Wagaspack or someone else. You're possibly going to be in those legislative talks if it would go up to that again, and hopefully it wasn't. I hope it don't. I hope it gets vetoed, override. But what if that happens what would you do as state representative, Kellie?
Oh, I'd support bringing it back up. It needs to be passed. And if they can't have a veto override session now to push for it in this session or in this year, then absolutely. I believe when, we do have a great opportunity in Louisiana to get a good Republican governor. And I believe that we could see something like that pass with ease.
Do you see, because you have one of our good friends here at the Cajun Conservative Show, Jamie Pope, right next door to y'all guys.
Love me, girl.
I hope you and Jamie get in there so y'all can start shaking things up in the legislation. But in y'all area, Denham Springs, Baton Rouge, it's heavily blue. You get what I'm saying? It is there is some more, there's more moderate Republicans out there. How do you see that rate? I don't know if there's another Republican in that race with you, but how do you swing those voters, the people that are blue dog Democrats, the ones that say we like the conservative view, but we remain the state Democrat?
Right. Well, in my particular race, there's 3 Republicans. So in that sense, it's all Republican. Our area is primarily conservative, strong conservative, strong Republican. You do have some folks that have moved in from Baton Rouge, and I would maybe call some of them purple. Okay. They might, they're kind of in the middle. But my approach to the voter is I am a small business owner. I am not a politician. I've never run for office before. I'm the political outsider. And, I want to earn your support because I want to go and be your voice. I have no desire to make a career out of this. This is a season in my life where I feel like I can go and do good and be involved and use what God's given me from running our business. My husband and I, we've been running it for over 15 years. We are a relational business. It's why we've never really had to advertise or spend tons of money on marketing. We've had retention because word of mouth, referrals, and because of our relationship that we build with people. They understand that, our word is true, our integrity is solid. And, when we say we're going to do something, we're going to do it.
Let's continue on with your faith a little bit, Miss Kellie, because here at the show, I always end the show saying, if you want to know Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior, reach out to us. And I've had this question on this side of the microphone where it's been, Isaac, how do you keep your faith while looking into politics and trying to find out what's right and what's wrong? And I tell them the joy of the Lord. I believe the Lord has called me to this. but you're on the other side of the microphone. You're running for office, and you're just not running for office. You're a Christian, so you have a standard that you live by. How do you keep your faith while trying to run for office? And what is your view or your opinion of more believers getting into politics?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for me, my integrity means everything. My walk with the Lord, I believe, and I have seen through this journey so far up until this point, discernment is key. You have to have discernment. I love all people, red, blue, black, white, all people. It doesn't matter to me. I could work with anybody. But the difference is I will not bend to my morals and my values. And I believe that, in relationship, you can create the atmosphere where there's a confidence in your authenticity. And I believe that, people will, as I build relationships, should I be honored with this office, people understand that I'm true, and I what I say is true, and when I say something, I mean it. So I feel like I can work with people and not compromise my walk with the Lord. At the same token, I am transparent. I understand that I am flesh and blood, and that I'm not perfect. And so I've said it before, I am open to anybody holding me accountable. And if ever at any point in time that I make a mistake and someone comes to me, I will make wrong that mistake. And I will appreciate that, because again, we have to work together to be able to walk this journey out. For me as well, peace. The Bible says, be anxious for nothing, but in all things prayers unto the Lord. And to me, if I am anxious about something through, and I've had it through this journey of this campaign, I stop. And I'm like, okay, I go before the Lord and I bring it before him. And if I don't have a peace about it, then I let it go. Because to me, anxiousness is a great litmus test to say that I'm doing it in my own strength versus his strength. So yes, my faith is very important. Even going into that atmosphere, I've seen some interesting things, from being around the Capitol and having people that I know that are currently holding office, talking to them, seeing some things actually, happening during session and that kind of thing. And my response to that is like, wow. Okay, Lord, how are we going to, approach this? I also am a firm believer in surrounding yourself with good people.
Yep.
Because, there's safety in the multitude of counselors. And so I firmly believe that, if you surround yourself, and I believe there are good people that have a political, they have their thumb on politics, that are smart, innovative, and you have discernment that, the Lord's going to, lighten up for me is, I have some now. So I would pull them into my circle and make sure that we are doing the right thing for our constituents.
Good word right there. And I'm going to be honest with you. You don't hear that too much in politics right now. You don't hear that people, and look, I'd say it like this. You don't hear politicians speak the way you do. Because we've come to a point in our history, and I've seen it in Louisiana, where there's no counsel of God no more. There's no counsel of what will the Lord do. Politicians ain't walking around, what would Jesus do? And that's why, here on the Cajun Conservative, we try to promote political leaders like yourself and many others that follow the Lord and that want to go ahead and make Baton Rouge a better place. And I think if we get more like that, I think we will see a turn in this in the state and in this nation.
Yeah. Well, and going along with that, we have to, because just like you said, like you, I'm tired of Louisiana being last. I'm tired of us, falling short to, no offense to Mississippi, but Mississippi. We have a mass exodus out of Louisiana, and a lot of those are children, are just, of somebody, whether it be, my mom and me leaving or my children leaving. That needs to change. And so, things do have to change, or we're going to not only lose our state, but we're going to lose our children and the next generations. So that is huge for me. I want, and I see very clearly the greatest opportunity for Louisiana to turn around and start going in the right direction, to where we begin to bring business back to Louisiana. Yep. And our kids are able to go through high school, graduate, whether they go on a secondary education or not, or learn a trade. They have a place that they can plant their feet here in Louisiana and grow their families, and not feel like they have to leave the state because there's nothing that's being offered to them.
So with that being said, and this probably be the last question for the night, we have 6 Republicans running right now. We got 2 Democrats running. We got an independent out there. And I'm not a Steve Wagenspacks fan. I was looking for it, but when I saw he started attacking Jeff Landry, through a pack, just all kind of mega rolls and everything like that. But I'm a firm believer in not people attacking, especially Republicans. But this has been a design for a few years. That's why John Bel Edwards has gotten there, because Republicans attack Republicans. Right. And God forbid something like that would happen again, where we don't get a Republican in there and we get another Democrat. How would you look at your job going into that, with possibly Sean Wilson being the governor? And like I said, God forbid it doesn't happen, but there is always that possibility. Sure. that we will have another Democrat governor. And right. You as a legislator going into that with 9 out of 10, another majority Republican House and Republican Senate, how do you look at that working with the governor?
Well, you can't quit, obviously. Right. That's just not an option. So to me, again, I go back to, as a business owner, what we've done and how it's provided the success that we have in our company, which is being relational and being authentic and being true and standing still in your values without having to bend in that capacity. And I would do the same with Sean Wilson. I would create that, to me, the backbiting and the games, the political games and the manipulations and stuff, that's my desire, honestly, a prayer, because it would take a almighty God for these things to happen. And like you said, the change in the attitude where it's what would Jesus do? Right. Kind of thing. We would go back to that those values and those morals that, even the 10 Commandments, when it was, you could see it and it was, put out there and it was at governmental locations, you had that sense of, man, I got to do what's right. And so, that would be the same mindset where, I would work with people. I would, I'm not going to play the petty games. This is, we have to do our work. We were voted in by the people to be the voice of them. And, if it matters to my constituents, then it matters to me. And that's what I'd bring to the Capitol. And that's what I would bring to whoever I would be working with as governor.
Sounds awesome. Miss Kellie, can you go ahead and tell people where they can find you on the web, and if they want to help out with your campaign, and how they want to talk to you, how they can reach you?
Well, of course, I do have a website, www.votekelliealford.com, and my name is spelled Kellie. My last name is Alford. Some people kind of confuse those two.
I wonder, the host messed it up.
Well, it's an honest mistake, trust me, and I'm very used to it. So yes, VoteKellieAlford.com. I also have Instagram, VoteAlford64, as well as a Facebook page, Kellie Alford for State Representative District 64. Of course, my cell phone, I give my cell phone out there. My number is 225-241-5950. If you have any questions, if you want to get to know me, open up your home, give me a call. I'll be glad to talk to you because at the end of the day, the voters respect and the voters' confidence in me is what matters, that I can earn their vote.
Ms. Kellie, thank you for coming on. We appreciate you stopping by. And if you're ever down Lafayette or St. Martin Parish Way, you know, I know a couple of good restaurants I could point you to, you know.
Well, I will hit you up because I'm all about some good Louisiana food.
And look, don't take offensive. You know, on that side of Denham Springs, that ain't real Cajun food. You got to come on this side of the basin.
I mean, I'm going to agree with you on that one because I have several friends that live in the Lafayette region, and they kind of blow our food out the water.
Hey, we're some good cooks. We don't get these sides for nothing, unfortunately. Miss Kellie, thank you for coming on. We'll see you in a little bit.
Sounds good, Isaac. Thank you for having me.
No problem. That was Miss Kellie Alford. I have to make sure I say that right. She's running for state rep in District 64. So if you live in that district, please consider Miss Kellie. Just looking at her website and talking to her, I see she's a true conservative, and that's what we want to do. We want to vote in true conservatives into the state of Louisiana to change the state around. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and end this episode. I want to thank you, as always, for listening to the Cajun Conservative Show. Remember, Jesus Christ is King, and he's coming back, and he's coming back soon, so don't be faint of heart, because Jesus has overcome the world. If you want to know Jesus as your Lord and Savior, please reach out to me at thecajunconservativeshow.wordpress.com. I'll tell you how to make Jesus your Savior and heaven your home. Until next time, you be blessed, you be encouraged.
And he is the open door.